Joining us with more reaction to my opening monologue from the Hill, Joe Concha, Fox News national security analyst, former deputy assistant to the president, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, the Justice Department now investigating Comey. Criminal referrals on every top figure, Lynch, on Hillary herself, on Comey, on McCabe, on Strzok, on Page. Then the IG referral, criminal referral, as it relates to McCabe. All that we have talked about is now happening. Everything the media has talked about has been wrong.
Yes, absolutely. For the last 14 months. Let's just tie it all together. The jigsaw puzzle must be made into a full picture. We now know Andy McCarthy's hypothesis is absolutely sound. The work of Sarah Carter, John Solomon, our own Fox Catherine Herridge. It is clear the Obama administration wanted Hillary to win. She was protected by the highest echelons of the DOJ and the FBI. Why? Because her felonious use of a private server to send classified information on implicated the president himself. We know President Obama, under a pseudonym, contacted her and sent sensitive information on that private homebrew server, which meant if she was prosecuted, guess who has to be prosecuted as well? President Obama. That is why they perverted the course of justice, and everything should be renamed, not FISA-gate, not surveillance-gate. It must be renamed tonight, Sean, Obama-gate.
Deep State Gate, Obama-gate, whatever you want. Joe, you follow the media. You follow their coverage. I'm not ever expecting a retraction and an apology, but the level of breathless hysteria and reporting, especially on the cable networks, not Fox, and in the Washington Post and the New York Times, anonymous sources, fake news, debunked stories, conspiracy theories. This now represents news in America?
The New York Times, Sean, the biggest complaint among readers, and this has been going on for years and years, is the use of anonymous sources, the utter reliance on them, because obviously we don't know what motive those sources have. Usually it's probably a nefarious one if they want to get these things out. They're not just innocent whistleblowers. They're looking to push a narrative to hurt people in positions of power, and we've seen that over and over again. So, look, Devin Nunes, who is obviously the head of the Intelligence Committee in the House. He has been dismissed by the media for the most part. He's been called a lackey. And then you look at the other side, his counterpart, Adam Schiff. You know how many interviews Adam Schiff has done? And I'm not talking print interviews or online. I'm talking television broadcast interviews he's done since the president took office. 240. So if you need to know, if the media is picking a side, they're giving Adam Schiff a huge stage on an almost daily basis, while Nunes is seen as, well, that's the guy who's just trying to support Trump, trying to push a false narrative. I think that's all the evidence you need, Sean.
You know, and it is interesting, Dr. Gorka, and you mentioned there's a group of us. You're included in that group, and Sarah and Greg and Larry, and I can't mention everybody. And the bottom line is, this is the biggest abuse of power we've ever seen in this country's history, the biggest corruption case in history. I've never seen, you know, unmasking, leaking, surveillance, FISA abuse, exonerations before investigations, felonies just not even being prosecuted. Every one of these stories is unbelievable.
We've had problems. We've had scandals in the past. You go back to the 60s and the 70s especially. There's a reason we had the Church and Pike commissions. We had COINTELPRO, which was a scandal for the FBI. But guess what, Sean? In almost every case, it was the good guys overstepping the mark. There were bad people, there were radicals, there were arsonists, there were terrorists like the Weathermen Underground, and they were overzealous in the application of intelligence tools. Sean, in this case, it's not going after bad guys, it's going after your your opponent in a democratic election. It's going after somebody you politically disagree with and using the intelligence community and
political differences.
Right. And that's a massive scandal for the Republic.
Last word, Joe.
Well, we talk about the bias of omission a lot, Sean. That's the worst kind of bias you could have. And you talked before about not covering some of the more positive aspects of what this administration is accomplishing. And look, I'm not going to put that out there as some sort of cheerleader. I look at Pew Research right after the election, and here's what they said: the top 3 issues that voters voted on. 84% said the economy and jobs. 80% terrorism, ISIS in this case, obviously. 75% foreign policy. So we look at those 3 issues. And foreign policy, obviously, we have to look at North Korea in those regards. The president is doing quite well on the issues that mattered most to people, yet those are the issues that get the least reporting by our media because we're looking too much at Russia and Stormy Daniels and things that people don't care about as much as our media in the bubble thinks they do.
All right, guys, thank you both for being with us.